Welcome to the Coin Age. We are going to be doing American ships today. So, I'm either going to be a potato or we're going to have some fun in these matches. Let's hope for the latter. Or Doritos. That's a way to start. Honestly, if Wargaming were to watch these videos and see 4 or 5 destroyers per match, it would be nice if they actually put a limit on destroyers like they do on carriers. 1 carrier per match. How about a max of 3 destroyers per match?
Steel yourselves for the grand battle ahead. The enemy has discovered us.
One of their destroyers is in C. Both their battleships are on that side too.
Show me the knowledge hidden from mortals. The foe emerges into our view. Let that vessel feel our thunderous wrath. Gods, smile upon your work.
There's a dev strike. That's a nice way to start off the match.
Cast into the abyss. Foe's battleship has appeared in our sights. Torpedoes loom directly before us. Torpedoes loom directly before us. The hull is breached. Swiftly do the waters rise against us.
We got an enemy destroyer over here. Question is our destroyer and our cruiser actually going to go after him, or is he just going to have free range to constantly fire torpedoes? We know he's from in that direction, at least one.
The hull is breached. Swiftly do the waters rise against us.
Now we know the Fubuki is here in the center.
Our team reigns supreme.
Try to turn away from them. Hopefully we can pull this off without catching another torp.
Let that vessel feel our thunderous wrath.
But as you can see, our cruiser is all the way to the right side. There's 2 destroyers towards the center of the map. Fubuki's actually going after a carrier, like most destroyers do. They just don't really care about anything else. When there's a carrier, they go after the carrier. Kind of like what our Fubuki's doing. Instead of, you know, kind of carrying the job that they're supposed to have, it's like, oh, there's a carrier, we're going to try to get to it as quick as possible and try to take it out as quick as possible. I mean, yeah, carriers can be a pain in the ass. You know, helping to fight the destroyers on the enemy team is a lot more effective than taking that carrier. At least the back gun's cleared. So we know we have the Icarus somewhere in here. And we know the Fubuki is behind us towards our port side. And for those of you that don't know, port is left, starboard is right, bow is the front of your ship, and stern is the rear of your ship. And we know that the Icarus is somewhere off of our bow. We don't know exactly where at the moment, but he's somewhere towards A. We got a rough idea of where he's at. There's a Fubuki has turned up to come up to C to cap C. What's nice is the other 3 destroyers are actually doing what they should be doing, capping, fighting destroyers, spotting for the rest of their team. The Icarus is down, so we don't have to worry about that one too much. Fubuki or the Ioba put out some aerial denial turrets, which, you know, where they put them at is actually a good place to put for aerial denial. Now, if you're in a destroyer, you really don't want to enter a gunfight with a cruiser. not a fight that you'll win. And a lot of those shots went high.
Main turret is severely stricken. The battle concludes in mere 5 minutes.
We still know the Fubuki is somewhere around. See, he's probably going to come around the island to where I just destroyed that Arizona. Because with us not being spotted with where we're traveling now, more than likely he's going to come around the island on that side. He's also probably going to, you know, put as many torques out as he can, see if he can't catch somebody. And then it'll probably be like 5 seconds left in the match when he decides to shoot his guns. Now what's nice is our Fushan decided to go around the island and catch him. We'll go through the strait here and see if we can't come from the other side and get him between two ships.
Shield that target with unyielding might.
Boogie must have put a smoke screen up. Give the T-61 a little credit for getting his cracking.
The enemy has discovered us.
And that's a dead Fubuki. the island on my right, it kind of tells me which way I need to go.
Conquer that area to assert our divine rule. Understood. Prepare for action. Steer toward the fray. Conquer that area to assert our divine rule. Understood. On my way to provide assistance. A foe emerges into our... Foe's battleship emerges into our view. Focus the fury of Olympus on the target. Let none stand before our might.
Other than bad shots for going blind.
I've commenced action. Lend me your fire. Let that vessel feel our thunderous wrath.
See if we can't net this game from here.
Aha! My divine sight has revealed the target's location. Everyone under my command, claim this territory. Let that vessel feel our thunderous wrath. Let that vessel feel our thunderous wrath. The enemy team asserts dominion. The enemy has discovered us. Fire emerges. Behold, a strategic target has been revealed to me. The flames rise. The foe's destroyer has been sunk by our hand.
The battleship that was over here with us kind of ran away from the side. Well, you kind of got to do this in a way to where you don't get caught.
Behold, the problem is conquered.
Still got a destroyer over here, the Skane. You gotta be careful of that. Our other New Mexico is deciding to go up middle, and he's going to get caught by both sides.
The enemy team
Gneisen's probably
asserts
trying for a
dominion.
torp run. I just destroyed one of his guns. He cannot be happy about that. With our teammates kind of getting ran over, it kind of puts us in a situation that's not the greatest. Like I said, we know that the Gneiseno has torps. Any, I think there's 7 kilometer torps. So we do have to be careful. The German accuracy is not that great. I had to turn because of the edge of the map, which he's probably gonna get range on those torps here real soon. Got one of our heals.
The enemy team asserts dominion.
And of course, he's going to be one of those little ones that knows he can't win the gunfight, and here comes the torps. I'm kind of forced into a situation. And with the edge of the map, I was able to avoid the torps.
The flames
And there comes
rise.
his other 3. Now,
The enemy's triumph
it would be nice to
looms
actually have
ominously.
teammates that don't get rolled by the enemy team, but on matches like this, when you got a lone destroyer with almost no health left, it's like, yeah, really? You just gonna kite around, and there are 5 enemies, 6 enemies on the enemy team, and you're just gonna kite around, and just throw torps. Sometimes you get 1 or 2 kills, but the thing is, if it's not going to win the match, you're kind of holding people up if they want to use that same ship. But a lot of destroyer players will do that. And it's like, oh, my team's been being destroyed. I'm just going to go hide and do absolutely nothing.
The battle concludes in mere 5 minutes.
You know, I didn't want to give up on Seaside because, you know, you give up on Seaside, you give up a crossfire for your team. And it really didn't matter what I did, you know, with me being the only battleship that's actually fighting over here at that point. Eventually it was just going to get rolled over. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, as you can see, he's just trying to run away, run away, run away. He's not trying to win the match. He's just trying to run away and survive. That's all he's really trying to do. You know, popping torps here and there. If you get a torp hit here and there, is not really going to make much of a difference unless you can actually destroy something to try to reset some of the points. But you know, this what destroyer players do. It's, oh, I'm the last one alive. I'm going to run away. I'm just going to throw torps out, knowing that I can't change anything, and just extend the game as long as possible. Three Doritos.
Prepare for action. Steer toward the fray.
I still think that Wargaming can do something about where teams get rid of that whole teams of, oh, we have 6 of our ships left, the enemy has 1. You know, set up some type of skill based thing, and because this battleship is not moving right away, I've got to go up and around it. I mean, that's another thing that Wargaming can carry over from the PC. If, you know, because I've been in matches where the person doesn't move the entire match and end up getting destroyed. You know, put servers up to where it penalizes you for doing things like that.
Behold, an enemy force is on the horizon.
And, you know, I don't consider myself a great player in this game. I consider myself an average player. I make my mistakes, just like everybody else does. But, I mean, there are times it feels like the game itself is against you. Like, yeah, you know, charge in, you know the enemy's going to be in there. You know what's going to happen if you get caught as a destroyer against a cruiser. You know.
Foe's battleship emerges into our view.
It's just like, as a battleship captain, I know what happens if I get caught broadside. Now, I could be saying goodbye to all my health.
Foe's battleship is approaching.
Now, a lot of our team is coming to the left side of the map, which is not necessarily the smartest thing to do, because you're kind of abandoning the other side of the map, which will allow crossfire. And when the crossfires happen, it doesn't matter how well you're battle tanking, you're going to get hurt.
The enemy team asserts dominion.
These are definitely some rough matches today.
Rain down support fire like the ancient
I mean, we're
volcano.
just losing one ship after another on the right side because the right side doesn't seem to have much support. I mean, yeah, matches like this should not exist. They really shouldn't. I mean, Wargaming can do something about it. They really could. But would Wargaming? No. Wargaming won't do a damn thing about it. And there's one of those times of you double tap right trigger and only one thing goes off.
Foe's destroyer.
I mean, there's times that you get teammates that are just doing this, and it just seems like they're trolling you. You know, I mean, to have your entire fucking team cleared, and there ain't a thing you can fucking do because your entire team is gone.
The enemy's triumph looms ominously.
Makes things a little bit more difficult. I mean, honestly, if you're bad enough to where, I mean, I don't have any room to talk a lot of times because, you know, I make my fuck ups just like everybody else, like I said. But if you are
Our
getting,
cause lies in thy
you know,
hands.
you are the reason why our team, you know, a team is getting rolled. Maybe go to bot matches, you know, work on how to approach, how to do this, how to do that. You know, just understand things a little bit more before you come into um, main matches, regular standard matches. Now, again, I've been ran to the edge of the map because, you know, I have nowhere I can go. More than likely, I'm going to have torpedoes coming after me, and I know that.
The flames rise.
That should have been a death.
Target is penetrated.
But yeah, even taking out a battleship ain't going to help us.
Behold, the problem is conquered.
But even though, you know,
Flames rise.
that should have been... I don't understand this game sometimes. 'Cause yeah, you put your shots right where they need to be, and they go make enough of a hole to where the ship can sail through. I mean, this is ridiculous. 291 experience? No. I mean, I understand I didn't break 1,000, but still, this is... I mean, that just shows you that, you know, when people are having a bad day, they have a bad day. I understand that. But for your entire team to get rolled because you don't understand the concept of the game, you don't understand the concept of your ships, that's what AI matches are for. Go to the AI, work up how you're going to use your ship. I mean, if you're trying to run destroyers and you don't really run them very often, go to AI. No shame in going to AI, working out how to use them, stuff like that. I mean, I would love to have one of my greater matches while streaming today, but you know, if I keep getting into matches where it's 4 destroyers, it kind of makes it a little rough to actually have a high damaging match.
Yourselves for the grand battle ahead.
Let's put that limit on destroyers. Come on, Wargaming, put that limit on destroyers, 3 per match. Let's stop this torpedo fest stuff, because all that it turns into is, oh, you gotta juke around torpedoes constantly. And then as you're juking the torpedoes, it leaves you open to the broadside of an enemy battleship, which kills you. You know, I understand 3 put in a lot of torpedoes, but when you start getting up to 4 or 5 destroyers in one match, you know, it makes it to the point where it's almost impossible to win because, and that's a California. It really does make it rough, especially on new players. It can really make it rough on. To go against that many destroyers. It's sad a cruiser hit me harder than a California did. California's kiting away. That's the perfect example. Even though it was my teammate that got the kill, It's one torpedo and a destroyer is dead.
Foe's battleship emerges into our view. Our team reigns supreme.
And even though this happened last match and I was on the losing end of it, even being on the receiving end of something like this is just, I mean, come on. If we roll this team like it looks like we might, it shouldn't happen. Still, a cruiser hitting harder while angled than a battleship is ridiculous. You know, there's a lot of balancing, in my opinion, that has to be done. You know, I'm sorry, a 16-inch shell is going to do more damage than a 12-inch. Foe's battleship emerges into our view. By our hand. And then you get spreads like that. They weren't. That was not a great spread. Kind of got lucky that somebody else hit them first, but I still got a Citadel. But the thing is, you know, we're rolling the team. You know, it all comes down to you shouldn't be rolling a team this way.
Our triumph is imminent.
That was a nice clean shot on that Cali. Well, superstructure too. Trying to use these islands a little bit to my benefit.
Our triumph is imminent.
Getting some nice clean shots on this Nagato. And then you get a troll shot like that where they just, you know, you have the fucking aim, and it's like, nope, we're not going to allow you to hit half your shots. And then you get shots that look as beautiful as that does. I mean, that was just a beautiful grouping. We'll get maybe 1 or 2 more matches in on this stream, and again, 4 destroyers. You gotta love it.
Conquer that area.
Tier 5, Tier 6 match. Normally matches like this where there's 4 or 5 destroyers, one team's going to get rolled over the other. And
Steel yourselves for the grand
it's because of all the
battle ahead.
torpedoes in the water. You know, it makes it rough to try sometimes to avoid 20, 30 torpedoes.
With me as we face our foes.
Yeah. One of the ones that actually fights for their side. But I think he cut him. One of the reasons he cut so close in front of me was, hey, you need to turn. You need to come help us.
A foe
I would have helped
emerges into
anyways.
our view. Foe's battleship has appeared in our sights. Let that vessel feel our thunderous wrath.
Now we know the Renown's a little quicker than most battleships because it's a battle cruiser. It's also got a engine boost to it,
Behold, the target is penetrated.
but a good correction actually made for a nice shot.
Behold, the strategic target has been revealed.
Yeah, Renown actually does have pretty decent AP. So if you fire an HE is not always the best to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, British AP or British HE is nasty.
Strategic
It
target
really
has been
is.
revealed to me. Let that vessel feel our thunderous wrath.
But the AP can be just as nasty.
Anyone under my rule, proceed and claim this territory. Summon my disciples. Lend me your fire.
Now, when engaging Renowns and Maxes, anything that's a British battle cruiser, you will have to be looking out for torpedoes.
Lend me your fire.
Because there are some that'll be like, you know what, I'm going to die, I don't care, I'm just going to charge in and get my torpedoes off.
Summon my disciples. Lend
Just
me
like a
your
lot
fire.
of, just like any other, battleship that has torpedoes. They charge in, try to drop their torps, get as much damage as possible, hopefully kill the ship that they're going after. and then try to pull it off on the next ship. Like, get as close as possible, get in there, do this, do that, do this, do that. And it can be beneficial to do that. It really can. At times. Because if you make a wrong charge in and you're a torpedo battleship, it can backfire on you extremely quickly. Or if you're a battle cruiser, it can really backfire on you. Because your armor's a little bit thinner than the regular battleship is. As you can see how much I'm tearing the Renown apart.
Our triumph is imminent.
Yeah, I'm not. 2 fires, yeah. 2 fires is damage gone every time. A Renown should die here.
Proceed and claim this territory.
See what kind of shots.
Behold, the problem is conquered. Show me the knowledge hidden from mortals.
You know, and like I said, getting rolled is not fun for the people doing it, or for being on the receiving end of it. It's just not fun. That was Falcon above the belt. That should have been.
The flames rise.
I know he's sending torps. It's, you know, I have a rule: if it's not an American cruiser above tier 5, they have torps. And that rule. Yeah, I was not even gonna try to. Wasn't even going to aim on that one. And that's what happens when a team gets steamrolled. It's just no fun whatsoever. But it is what it is. It's part of the game. It may not be as fun as most matches, but steamrolling is part of the game. See, I don't mind 3 destroyers. This is a carrier battleship destroyer match. No cruisers whatsoever. These are the matches that make it a little harder on battleship captains when the cruisers aren't there to actually help you take it, spot, take out the destroyers.
Prepare for action. Steer toward the fray.
But if done right, you know. It looked like this was a tier 4, tier 5.
Behold, an enemy force is on the horizon.
My range, 17.5. Again, Renown is quicker, so we want to need a little bit more than we would a normal battleship. Renown also has that little engine boost thing on it. I think believe it's the Renown that has the engine boost. Have to double check. Now, our destroyer over here, the Icarus, kind of has me a little confused on what he's trying to do. So he could be up there with our Minakaze and helping a lot. Try to take down the Farragut. Instead, he's just kind of sitting back here and just sending torps off. That was a nice little 10k hit. Now, due to the fact that the Renown does have torpedoes, I do not want to really get into a close combat with them. Now, I like having the range on him, where his torpedoes are no longer... Torpedoes aren't really a factor. When the aiming mechanism wants to go from one ship to another ship to another ship to another ship, and just can't quite get it to where you want it. Now the Baron is a German ship. You do have to respect their secondaries to a degree. They're not going to completely tear you apart at a tier 5, but you know. It is a German battleship.
Confirmed. I've commenced action. Foe's battleship emerges into our view.
I'm not too worried about tier 5 secondaries as much as I would be a higher one, like the Zeiton. Busy secondaries can be a little bit nasty, but there are definitely ships in the game now that are a lot better secondaries. Atlantico being one of them, and the secondaries on that, if I remember that correctly. The secondaries on that are a nasty piece of work. This is where I say secondaries can still be nasty, even at tier 5. Close enough with your destroyer. Secondaries are still going to hurt.
Reverse course now.
It's just like if you can, when you look at the mini map, our carrier hasn't moved. You're going to play a carrier, and your team is winning a side. Start moving your carrier towards that side. If you don't, then I mean it's kind of you get what you get when the destroyer catches up to you, or any member of the enemy team. You kind of get what you get. If you just sit there the entire time, it's like, I'm just going to launch planes, I'll be fine. If you enter this menu, you can choose an autopilot for your carrier and just, you know, move around. Try not to stay in one place. That was a double Citadel on that Ranger. Saw that coming. It may be a battle cruiser, but they still have caliber, you know, battleship caliber guns. That should send the Ranger to the bottom.
By my wrath, an enemy aircraft carrier has been obliterated.
Those torps didn't hit the Renown, but once the Renown comes around the edge of that island, it should be dead. I'll take that little extra hit just to make sure it's dead. Now here with the Hyuga, you kind of got to get prepared because it does have a reload booster. That reload booster can really affect you when you're in close quarter combat. I mean, even if you're not in close quarter, it can still affect you. Because it is a reload booster on a battleship, and it still hurts like a bitch. Especially if you go broadside to it. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Have a good day.